Hi guys, want to talk about what brushes you have in your packet and what each brush will do. You have a couple, like three flat brushes. You have a large one, and inside your brand new Prane watercolor set, you're going to find a rigger brush or a round brush. So let's go ahead and get those out. We're going to play around with those just just so you know which one of each of these do. Okay, I would like for you to get some scrap paper, not watercolor paper. Watercolor paper is too expensive. You're not going to keep this. It could be notebook paper, any kind of scrap paper. I did put some in your folder, so track that down. If you don't have it, grab anything. So we're going to start off with the large flat brush. When you're using this large flat brush, this is to cover a large area. Okay, of course, I'm going to dig in here, give me some paint. Let's say I'm doing a sky, or I'm trying to cover just the basic background of a landscape that I'm painting. This is very quick. Okay, I've got that really pretty light. Sorry about that. You can't see that. Darken it up a little bit. Okay, so there's just a flat wash there. You can use it on the side and create some kind of texture using it a little different. You can tip it. That would be good to make grass or starting off with trees or something. So you'll have that you can use. Okay, so that's your big flat brush. The other brush is about the same thing, only it's just a little bit more controlled. All depends what sizes you're using. Play around with each one of these. They pretty much do the same as the larger brush, only they're on a smaller scale. This is probably the brush that you're going to use the most. It's the rigger brush or the round brush. A medium brush, actually. So you can come in here, and it's very controlled. Okay, you can use it for coloring in, but you notice that you might have some streaks in it because the brush is so small, but just kind of play around with that. I can just use the tip of that brush and create a texture. This would be good for foliage. Let's see, I'm going to put some foliage on these little trees that I just did. So you can kind of play around with that brush there. You can also use it with kind of not so wet of a brush and get like a different kind of texture. You see that? Like I can see some of the paper through there. That's kind of a neat thing to do. Now, you have four brushes. If you would like to, I have these fan brushes. I don't have enough to give to each and every one of you, but if you want to use these in class or if you want to go out and purchase one, they're cheap. Walmart, Hobby Lobby, wherever you want to go. These are also some kind of fun things to use. I'm going to put a little bit of paint here in a larger area. I'm going to start and use it dry to show you what it would use when the brush is dry. So I'm going to pick up some wet paint on a dry brush. And look at that. It's kind of cool. But if I go ahead and wet the brush, I can get some really fun textures. Look at that. Kind of been separated. All right, so you just kind of play around. You know, if you would like to take one of these home, you know, talk to me. We'll get you squared away. Now, not only can you use the brushes that you have in your packet, there's so many other materials that we can use to paint with. All right, all depends what kind of what you're trying to achieve in your painting. So let's talk about Q-tips. I can come up with Q-tips. These are a great tool for painting. I can grab some wet paint and I can do a very controlled texture with the Q-tip. And as that paint is leaving and drying out, it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. Kind of cool. I can also just paint with it. Okay. There we go. That's kind of neat. So we have that. You can also just use, this is just a piece of scrap mat board or plastic or whatever it is that you might have at home that you can cut up and dip in paint and spread around your paper. So I'm going to grab some paint here. I'm going to get a new sheet just so you can see what's going on. And I can just pull that. Okay, and that gives me a little bit of a different effect. I can also use it kind of like I did that large flat brush. And I can just kind of, look at that. Wouldn't that be good for some kind of foliage? And then come back with my Q-tip. Maybe I'm going to make some kind of flower or something on this. Anyway, some other things that you can use. So don't just think that you're limited to the brushes that you have in that packet. Experiment. See what you can find. Anyway, experiment with those. And I will see you in class next time.